Hello, it's Michelle Spiva, and I am on day number 9 of Leader of One. How y'all doing? I hope everybody is doing well. For those of you who are like me, who are in the, some of us, aftermath of our little snowstorm, some of us is heading your way if you're on the eastern coastline of the U.S. Happy Saturday. Yeah. The one good thing is it's sunny outside and the reflection of the snow off of the sun makes it bright. So it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and it doesn't feel like it's midnight in here. Taking advantage of some of the daylight out here. So anyway, yes, today is a regular work day for me since I took my respite on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday or Friday. That's sad. I can't. Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Well, anyway, today I'm in the thick of things. So what I want to talk about today is attacking the struggle. And one of the things that I want to say is when I endeavored to do this, I knew I had to count up the costs. I knew I had to do all that stuff. And for those of you, this might be your first time watching. What I'm doing is for a whole month, I am working on reprogramming myself to become my own leadership, my own leader. It's so funny because I realized I lead a lot of people, but I'm only as good as I'm able to lead myself. So instead of trying to lead a lot of people, a lot of times we need to stop. That's me, of course, first and foremost. We need to stop and we need to reevaluate and see if we're leading ourselves the right way. And the reason why that's so important is because if you can't be a good leader to yourself, you won't accomplish much of anything. And as a solopreneur like I am, a solopreneur is a person who works by themselves and generates income to be able to, survive, thrive, and everything. It's important that I build and reinforce these skills. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you are like me and whether you want to or not, you're going to end up being an entrepreneur in the near future or even the far off future. If you know that the industry you're in is going to peter out or is not going to include you in it, listen up, please listen up. As a solopreneur, the buck stops here. And even if I might not have employees per se, I still work with contract workers and all that kind of stuff. And I notice that there are so many things that if you're not aware of it and you're not strengthened in it, it will show up because there's nobody to hide behind. There's no team. There's just you. And if you are sorely lacking in something, it sticks out like a sore thumb. So I've been working on this project and it's been good. Like I said, this is day number 9 for me. And today I've just been in that office getting it, baby. Just getting after it. Attacking the struggle. Attacking the, I don't want to do this. This is tedious. Good Lord, why can't this be over? And all of that. And so I wanted to talk about some of the stuff that I've been reminding myself of today. And that is whenever you decide, or I decide, or any of us decide to learn something, master something, become skillful in something, there are some phases that you have to go through. Now, the first phase is the phase that sucks. I'm just going to be honest with you. That first, number 1 phase is frustration. Frustration is where a lot of the struggle and resistance comes. That's why we dread doing stuff. We put it off to the last minute. It feels like we are out there by ourselves. Nobody else care about us. Everybody else is having fun but us. But that means that you're in the frustration stage. Now, the frustration stage is so freaking frustrating and it doesn't feel good to us because we're not good at it. We're not making a lot of progress. It's slow going, making a lot of mistakes, having to try to figure out stuff. So there is a high learning curve that in some cases can almost seem insurmountable, and you feel like you're tugging dead deer up steep hills. But it's okay, because in the grand scheme of things, in the 4 phases that you go through, frustration is the first one, but it's not the longest one. And so if you can get over the feeling of frustration, which where I am now, attacking the struggle, attacking that I said I was going to do this. By gosh, I'm going to do it. Look past it and know you just have to go through it to get over it. Go through to get over. It's going to be okay. And I'm going to just be honest with you. The way to get through frustrating times is just good old plain perseverance. Perseverance. Almost imagine yourself headwind and gale force storms, and you continue, even though the storms might push you back, you just continue to push forward and push forward. And eventually you'll get traction and momentum to keep going. And then after the frustration comes the struggle of practice. So frustration is the first thing that you hit. It is if you have not done this before, or something that you haven't done before, it's going to be there to say, you don't know what you're doing. This is hard and all this kind of stuff, but it's okay. Keep pushing. Now, I wish I could tell you it gets better, but after this, you move into the struggle of practice. And that is, I know a little bit now, it's starting to make sense, but I still don't want to do it. I'm still not, it's not easy. I don't want to do it, and so that's where, I think we are, if you've been following along with me, because we've been going through getting clarification, simplification, and now we're starting to move into commitment. And this is where I talked about yesterday with strategic implementation, why you need to be committed. Because if you're not committed, you're going to give up. You're going to be like, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to be joining you for the rest of the month. And you won't get what you want. You won't get what you need. You won't become who you need to be to have and do what you want. And so commitment is a big ingredient for right now. And so the best way to do it is just freaking attack it. Do or die, ride or die, whatever you want to call it. We just attack the struggle. We go through, we do this. It does not feel good, but honey, let me tell you, if you did everything that you felt like doing, you'd have a little bit of pleasure with a whole bunch of pain. So don't get wrapped up in the, it don't feel good, because that's never indicative of whether or not it's good to you. It might not be good to you, but a lot of times it's good for you. So what does my attack of struggle mean today? Today I have been locked in tedium, doing some very tedious tasks and having to teach myself a new way of doing something. And it's not, it just doesn't feel good. And I kind of suck at it, but I've been continuing to do it. And I looked up and I was like, oh my gosh, the day is just getting away. And that's what happens when you get, into a committed concentration and focus. Time just gets away from you. So I had to pause for the cause, because I'm also committed to giving you guys daily accountabilities of where I am, what I'm doing, what it's looking like, and how I'm pushing forward. But I will say this, I have made inroads to one of the big tasks that I need to get done to be able to finish up a big project that I want to get published this month. So I'm really excited about it. I've been in there listening to some get right music. I have on Spotify, I have my playlist, and it's called The Writing Groove. And so I turned that on and listened to my music, and I was listening to some Earl Clue right before I realized, it's time to go do my video. And so like I said, I paused to stop to come in here. But let me let you know, as soon as I get through, I am back on the hustle of the struggle of attacking the struggle. And that's the only way you can do it when you first start out. You just got to go full forward. The best defense is a strong offense. You just got to go head forward first into the gale winds and make it do what it do. Because when it comes down to it, it's just you and it's just them. I was reading something on Medium this morning of this guy. He said what a difference a year makes. And he was talking about how for, I guess, 3 years or so, he had this grueling routine where he would go to work, get something from the grocery, cook it, and then sit down and work on his writing until he would go to bed, get up and do it again. When all his friends were buying things, when all his friends were doing all the great stuff, he was still plugging along, trying to get his book done, trying to get his inroads, trying to build a practice, good habits, and it didn't feel well. And he said, but it was for a time as this, because, you know, when his time came, he popped. And now this year is so different from his previous years, where he's doing all the stuff that these people wish they could be doing. And so, you know, this is kind of like, I guess what I'm saying too, when I'm talking about attack the struggle, you got to pay your dues. It's not about paying them, or struggling for no reason. Struggle makes you grow. Struggle makes you be able to have perseverance. Struggle produces humility and tenacity and all those great entities, you know, that you need in your character to be able to sustain anything you get, you know, because easy come, easy go is never more true than in your personal development of what you're doing. And with all this kind of stuff, you know, there's nowhere you can hide. Either you're going to do it or you're not. The one thing you can't really outsource is good character and work ethic. And those are always going to have a greater return than if you had all the money in the world and you paid everybody to try to do everything for you. So I'm going to say this: struggle, but attack the struggle, and no, it's not forever. You know, whether you're in the frustration, you know, hey Brandy, whether you're in the frustration stage, that only lasts for a little time, or if you're in the beginning stages of struggling to practice, of trying to make yourself sit still, stay focused, be concentrated, and produce something while you're trying to grasp around, stay with it. Keep swimming, because I'm going to tell you, when we look back at this month and we know that we gave it a concentrated effort to do what we said we were going to do, to make expectation of achieving things. And even if you don't achieve everything, if you just achieve one thing, that's going to be one thing more than you would have achieved if you had not been focused and concentrated on doing these things, on not shirking the responsibility of keeping your word to yourself, of struggling through, of all those different things. So that's what I really wanted to say that I'm doing. And like I said, if you're following along with me, do it too. Don't run from frustration. Don't run or hide from struggle. Don't find yourself saying, oh, this is too hard, I'll come back to it. Don't go and do anything but. That is usually indicative of the fact that this is the very thing you should be doing, because the Bible even says, and my grandmother used to say, iron sharpens iron. If you always want to go the path of comfort, you're always going to get the low-hanging fruit and what everybody else is getting, which is usually a bad deal. So if you want to achieve the goals in life that you said you want, whether that be your health, a better career, finding the love of your life, strengthening your family dynamic, whatever it could be, it's going to take some frustration of the newness of learning the new skill. It's going to take the feeling like I would rather be doing anything else but this, because this sucks. This doesn't feel well. And I'm going to say, just like I'm having to do today and probably tomorrow and the next day and the next day, I want all of us to know hey Karen, you have got to attack your struggle. You can't be cowering. You can't negotiate from afar. You can't lob over a request in hopes that it's going to give you a break. No. You got to go head first in, and you can't give up. You know, one of the things that I really, if nothing else, I'm going to say, if you want something, you got to fight for it. Life is going to test you. My grandmother used to say, in the middle of life is a big old if. If you do something, you will have this life. If you do nothing, life will pimp you and have you walking the streets of hardship forever. And when she used to say that kind of stuff, I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. And so I don't know if that's a scare tactic for you, but it was enough for me. So remember, if you do it. So today, you might be lounging around or whatever. If you're not working on your own personal projects, and I understand me as an solopreneur, my off days are different from other people's off days. I totally get that. But if you're not working today, when you do get back to work, I want you to remember a little voice, maybe mine, comes to you and says, if you want this, you got to attack struggle. You got to get in the mix with struggle. You got to get down in the mud and wrestle with struggle. You got to say, I'm not going to let you go till you bless me, struggle. And be tenacious about not only grappling with your struggle to practice, but have expectation that you're going to get better. And when you get done today, leave it all on the mat and then come back tomorrow. And with that being said, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I got a few more hours of stuff I need to do. And I'm going to get in there, continue to attack the struggle, continue to get in there and do what it do. When I get done, I'm going to rest. And guess what? I'll be back tomorrow. And I will also see you tomorrow. So today has been day number 9 of Leader of One. If you want to be a part of the group, the link is in the description. Thank you for all the Patreon sponsors. And yes, I will get together a PayPal donation page too. Thank you, those people who reminded me that I need to have that up too. Good God, it's so much. But I want to thank you all for teaching me, because this is a group and it's a community and it's a circular thing, and everybody is helping each other. And thank you for helping me. And I'm just so glad so many people are joining me in this project. So until tomorrow, this is Michelle Spiva signing off from my update for day 9 of Leader of One. And for those of you who are in the group, I'll see you there. If you're following along just outside, drop a note in the post. Let me know how you're doing so I can cheer you on. And thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.